because I work with Elon, it's one of those things that never meet your heroes, right? All right, man. What we have here on the news?
Hey, did you hear about our buddy Steve Wozniak over there in Mexico?
Yeah, man. He's a national treasure, man, for humanity.
I know, man.
So yeah, he was about to give a presentation, and he actually was getting a stroke. So yeah, now he's back safe home. So, but yeah, he needs to watch out.
Yeah. So yeah, I read about it in the Times and the BBC. They mentioned that he was going to do a talk out there in Mexico City. I'm curious about what that talk was, right? But he ended up getting a mini stroke. He ended up going to the hospital, and they cleared him about a day after, and he went back home. And for those that aren't familiar, he's one of the Apple co-founders, Steve Wozniak. That him and the other Steve, I guess Steve Jobs, co-founded Apple. But really scared to see things like that because like Mondo, you mentioned, he's one of our national treasures. And
yeah, and I think that there's a lot of things here, right? Like there are a couple movies that they when Steve Jobs passed away, they start building the kind of the books and the movies and all of that, right? By the way, Steve Jobs is one of my heroes. Did you knew that?
Oh yeah, well I know you always kind of mention him, but you classify him as one of your heroes. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, man, it's one of those things that because I work with Elon, it's one of those things that never meet your heroes, right? but I never met Steve Jobs, right? But I pictured Elon to be like him, right? To a little bit more engaged and trying to give you direction on that. So, and when I was watching the movies or even reading kind of some of the books on the biographies, kind of that gives me that impression, right? Hard to tell, but yeah, it's sometimes I like to think how Steve Jobs will think about a product. Look, listen, he might be an asshole for some things, right? But he was brilliant to be able to put tech products into the hands of people. Like even iPhone and iPods and all of that. One of the first iPods, though, it felt like alien technology to me. Like this is like back on the days when the first kind of like even it didn't even have a button, right? You can just like scroll it, right? So it was very cool. And you seen the progression in the next 10, 15 years. And yeah, Steve was literally a co-founder there. So there were some back and forth between them, right? And I think that their personalities, but man, they were a dynamic duo.
Yeah, for sure. And I know Steve Jobs takes a lot of the, I guess that
Credit.
he was more at the forefront and for the credit, but Steve Wozniak, always in the background, but he's still around kicking. I think it's pretty cool. I never was really a big Apple fan, just in general. I've always been team Android ever since the beginning, and even before Android was around, I was using like the Windows based phones before iPhones even came out with the touchscreens and everything. So I never got on that bandwagon, but I can always appreciate a good eye for design and things like that. And I know that's what Steve Jobs brought to the table. And talking about the movies, it's very cool how he left the company and it was going to shit, right? and so they're like, we got to get Steve back. We got to get Steve Jobs back. And that's when things turned around again. So I think he really proved his worth there. And it wasn't just the product. It was kind of, the brilliance that he had in his mind. And I know there's that Think Different ad that you've mentioned before. It's pretty cool, right?
I recommend everyone to watch the Think Different ad, because sometimes companies, they get lost in the kind of the marketing and all of that, the branding, right? But you can see the core of the idea of Apple there, which is think different, right? How these people that they can change the world, right? And obviously, and this is what some of the people, sometimes we have some of our listeners, they have their own businesses. When you're thinking about marketing, again, go back to some of these titans, right? That they create these empires, which is the belief. you will be surprised that the ad doesn't talk about the product at all. So they are not telling you get a Mac because it has this faster processor, or it has this monitor that has high resolution. No, it's more about what you can do with the beliefs on the product, which is thing different, right? So yeah, an amazing ad, and yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's awesome. And seeing that ad, because you've sent it to me before, I'm like, yeah, that's a really good ad, and that's something I really grok towards. That's something that really cool. It really feel like it. I really feel that sentiment. Now, even Simon Sinek, the guy that does the kind of go back to the why. Go back to the why. This is, I think, one of the examples he talks about is right. This is one of these masterpieces in advertising where you really touch kind of the soul of people that really understand this. So, awesome. I think it's pretty cool. Steve Jobs did this, and I sure hope that that the Woz gets better because we need him around. So it's good to see that he did get out of the hospital and he seems to be doing okay.
Yeah, for sure. The other thing that I was excited, and I think that sometimes we are touching in some politics. We shy away, but for whatever reason, it always follows us. So, two female front-run candidates for Mexico's presidency. So next year is elections year for Mexico. They're gonna have a new president they're gonna do the elections in June. So there are two candidates that they are females, Claudia and Xóchitl, right? So for me, super exciting because you're seeing evolve, right? You're seeing all of these different countries. And by the way, there has been a lot of riots in Mexico because of feminist, right, movements. Because a lot of people are still thinking on the macho and everything, right? So I think that these type of leaders, it will start kind of shutting down all of that thinking, right? And look, it's always good. Diversity is always good, right? And more when you're in leadership positions. And I'm super excited. What's your take there?
Pretty cool. So, I mean, how many? You mentioned there's two female candidates here. Are they like in the top runners? Like, you think they're actually going to make it through?
So, and here is where it's different, maybe for people that they don't know some of the politics in over there in Mexico. They are Democrats, right? So people over there, they actually vote. Over here, we have the pointing system on Democrats and Republicans. Over there, a vote is a vote. No matter if you're in the south of Mexico or in the north of Mexico, a vote is a vote. The other interesting thing over there is that you can create a party. So, and this is quite I guess there are obviously some pros and cons of everything. But if you collected, I believe, 150,000 signatures or 200,000 signatures, you could literally sign up to have a party. So you can have a Ramirez party.
Hey, vote for me.
A Tex-Mex party, right? So I think that, and that's what happens. Sometimes you see these parties creating just for whatever reason, but as United States, right? Sometimes they don't have the pool, and what happens? Sometimes they do some like joint venture with the bigger parties, and there are three big parties over there. They call them the PRI, the PAN, and Morena, and these two candidates are from PAN and Morena, and currently the current president it was from Morena. By the way, Morena it means like brown skin, like darker skin. So, and that's right now the president. His name is Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, which everybody over there they call him AMLO. That's his initials, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador. Yes. So, and he is vouching Claudia. So everybody believes that maybe she's the next one, but we'll see. It's exciting. We'll watch the elections as well over there because there are some implications, right, for even the relations between United States and Mexico.
Yeah, for sure. So I think those elections are still not till next summer, though, right? So I guess they're ramping up, just like things are going on over here. When I hear about it, though, I wonder how it's all going to play out. Like a new Mexican female president. I wonder if if it's going to change the way some of the politics are going to work between like the U.S. government or even the Texas government. I mean, because I know, you know, there's a lot of things being passed here in Texas around the anti-immigration, the HB4 stuff we mentioned previously. I wonder if there's going to be some extra negotiations that's going to happen there, and how they're, if it's going to change anything with Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, I tend to think that maybe more diplomacy, right? Sometimes females uh, they approach things in a different way, right? We're gonna be seeing all of these different things, right? Maybe different policies, right? More ways. So it will be interesting to see. I don't have right now predictions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more actually curious on the whole situation, but for sure, I have two daughters, and I want a place where, whether in United States or Mexico, right, there is opportunities for them, and again, having female leaders, I think that is good for everyone.
Yeah, definitely. So that's really cool news to hear. You know, we'll keep an eye on it and kind of bring y'all the latest and greatest. So it seems like 2 out of the 3 major parties in Mexico's have female candidates that are going. I think it's pretty good chances that,
And that's what I see,
like you said,
60% chance, man. So it's a higher chance than than
yeah.
50.
So that's pretty cool. All right. Well, we'll keep y'all up to date with that. Hopefully, you know, they can help out our some of our Texas politics over here with the whole HB4 and the wall buoy stuff that's going on at the border. So we'll see how that works out.